Good morning, San Bernardino. Welcome to episode 3 of Everything San Bernardino Real Estate. I'm Robert Carrillo, and with me is Yvette Romero. We plan to be here on the regular to delve into the world of real estate and connect it to our beautiful city of San Bernardino. It's a beautiful day today. How's it going, Yvette?
I'm doing great, Robert. And I love how you mentioned how beautiful the day is or how beautiful San Bernardino is. It's refreshing because we don't always hear that about San Bernardino.
What's not to love, right? We've got some depressed blocks for sure. And of course, there's crime and there's also the homeless issue. But the negative always gets more attention than the positive. Always. I look out our window of the office. I love the mountains. I love the greenery. I love the open space. I love the potential that is here in San Bernardino. I love my neighborhood.
That's a lot of love right there. And speaking of love, let me give a shout out to my good friend, Justin. He is the biggest proponent of community love. Some of you may have seen his brand, One Love IE. He's got a store at Victoria Gardens in Rancho, Tyler Mall in Riverside, and sells merch at Yamava. Sells cool gear expressing love for the IE and its cities. But his brand is beyond merch. His message is one love in everything. And no matter where you're from, together we are one. And I love that concept. And he just received an award for family community engagement. So he's all about the community, just like us, and all about the love, just like you.
Yo, actually, I have a San Bernardino cap that always gets compliments. Get it on the website too. So in today's episode, we're going to talk some residential, some commercial, and then, of course, gentrification, as we always cap with that. So what's up in the world of residential for today, Yvette?
Well, the last episode, we told folks it's buy time, especially in San Bernardino. So let's talk about what that means. Affordability is always on everyone's mind. How much house can you afford? What size house is that? Is it better to rent? So there's no one size fits all approach.
That's right. In general, we encourage ownership for many reasons. However, we understand that it's a personal decision. A lot has to align in order for it to happen, right? Some of it you can control, some of it we as realtors can control, but a lot of it the universe controls, right? At the end of the day, a lot has to align. But ultimately, I've been pushing ownership since I bought my first home back in 1999, a triplex in the Bronx while I was a senior in college. Now I'm a 25-year vet in real estate. I understand the financial and the intrinsic values of ownership on another level, and I encourage it even more. If you follow us on social media, you'll see that we have a lot of posts about the non-financial benefits of home ownership.
So let's talk about a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home for rent in San Bernardino. I did a quick search on Zillow and found 37 3-bedroom homes renting for $2,000 to $3,000, with the average being about $2,600 per month. So the question then becomes, how much house could you buy if you put that $2,600 into owning instead?
And this is where I encourage folks to look at how much they could actually spend on their housing, right? If you saved a little bit on some other expenses on a monthly basis and instead added that to the housing expense, right? I think ownership in general, as a homeowner, it forces you to save on utilities, you save on food, you save on entertainment, you save on medical bills even. Ownership also gives you the opportunity to create side hustles for extra income, right? And then lastly, there's this notion, right? $2,600, you're not going to spend any more than that on rent to pay for somebody else's mortgage. But if you were paying for your own, maybe you could throw a little bit more towards that, right? So instead of 2,600 being the number that, that's what it is on the rental side, maybe on the homeowner shop, you could squeeze in $3,000 a month.
So I use the calculator Rob developed to determine how much $3,000 per month translates to on a purchase. You can go to carriogroupexp.com/direct calculator. We'll include the link in the caption or put it up on the screen right now. $3,000 per month in rent. The number will change depending on down payment, interest rate, credit, etc. But for this example, that $3,000 equals to a $405,000 home. You need about $15,000 for a down payment if you're a first-time home buyer.
So that's $15,000. And now the question is, what is out there in San Bernardino that's worth it under $405,000 that could work for you? And we did the research, and the truth is that there's not much. We counted 7 homes that are worth a look at. And so again, I mentioned how I value home ownership a lot. One of the reasons is a financial benefit, and that is the equity appreciation. When you own, especially in a place like San Bernardino, you're going to have equity appreciation, right? Maintain your home, maintain the property, maintain your investment, basically, and you will have equity appreciation. And we always stress that real estate is a long game. San Bernardino is trending in the right direction. It really is, right? We've got a lot of people in the city working to make it better. And the fact of the matter is that other cities around us are getting better too. And so as those cities get better, they're going to get more expensive. San Bernardino will definitely feel the effect. Remember, we talk about it all the time. We're going to continue talking about it. That's gentrification. All of that to say also that while you can buy that place for $405,000 here in San Bernardino, you're going to have to put some elbow grease, some sweat equity in the place in order to make it right for you. And that's actually a plus, because if the house is priced right and you get in at the right price, because you do some renovations, you can force equity appreciation right away.
I love that notion of forced appreciation. Most improvements you make on the house adds value. And Rob, you say this too. Your first home doesn't have to be your dream home. Get into ownership, reap the benefits, and when you're ready to level up, you can do so by leveraging your home. So reach out to us or visit our office to talk about buying a home in San Bernardino. There are a bunch of down payment resources available if you're in the medical field, in education, even government work, the military, of course, and first responders. We have a next door program for you. Teachers next door, nurses next door. And we also work with several lenders for any credit or financial situation.
That's right. That's our mission right there. We help renters become homeowners. We help homeowners level up to commercial real estate, and we help small businesses do the same.
That's a great transition to commercial real estate. In Rob's daily research, he discovered an interesting fact. Rob, can you share that with our audience?
Yeah. In San Bernardino, if our research is correct, and I do trust it because we use some of the best resources out there, there are 0 commercial real estate loans that are in default or in arrears, right? Again, that means that there are no commercial loans where the owners are behind on their payments. And I think that's pretty significant for several reasons. Number one, like for a city that's faced its own financial issues with the bankruptcy, for it to at least claim or one of its claims be that there are 0 commercial real estate loans in default, I think that's a pretty big deal. This no loan defaults or in arrears also means that you have to consider that we have a strong local economy here in San Bernardino. A strong local economy leads to increased business activity, higher property values, higher tax revenues, right? All of that also means that we have a stable real estate market on the commercial front. And if property values are consistently appreciating and the demand for commercial properties is strong as they are right now, property owners are less likely to default on those loans. Also means that we'll have less distressed sales on the market, which means that we have a stable market. And also all of that bodes well for like future development here, future commercial deals, because these lenders are seeing that when they lend their money out here, they're going to get their money back. And then the last thing I think it means is that we have a diverse economic base. We mentioned all of the different types of commercial real estate properties that are available for lease or that are just out here in San Bernardino. That allows for us to be able to sustain different trends, if you will, right? We don't have an over reliance on one sector that can drive down real estate. And we saw it coming out of the pandemic, even though the office sector have been hit in general, because we don't have like this over reliance on it. Our commercial came out pretty okay from the pandemic.
And the cities around us are getting better. So with them getting better, San Bernardino is also positioned to be better too. A strong local economy is beneficial to real estate on the commercial side, as we see, and on the residential side. So the number one way to reap the benefits of all this good is through ownership. The financial benefits are key, but also when you own, you get to choose how you enjoy the changing landscape through gentrification.
And so let's stick with commercial real estate and gentrification, or gentrification in commercial real estate, for this segment, right? So of course, displacement is the biggest issue with gentrification. And it happens all the time. Of course, again, people have to get uprooted, they have to leave the area. And it happens with small businesses too, right? The community development cycle in general starts with infrastructure. Then you've got the industrial market sort of coming in and booming. Then you have the residential market. Then you have the commercial market, right? So by the time the coffee shop comes in, and it's what a lot of people recognize as gentrification, for that to happen, a lot has had to happen to get to that stage. So by the time you see the coffee shop, that means gentrification has already hit. That's like the last sign of it. And so the same way that higher values bring higher tax base, bring higher rents on the residential side, higher values also bring higher rents for small businesses. And so those small businesses that have been there for many years, the mom and pops that have catered to the residents who are now no longer there because of gentrification, they're going to be subject to either also having to close up shop because the new residents don't need those services, or they're going to have to completely redo their business. And if they don't own, then that's a huge challenge right there.
As a small business, if you own the property you're in, and as values go up, so does your equity. So you can tap into that equity to make upgrades to your business so you can keep up with the changes. Gentrification does bring with it increased economic activity. So responsible development makes it so that small businesses have an equity stake. At worst, when gentrification is there and you own, you have the choice to stay or go versus getting pushed out because you're renting, and now rent isn't affordable for the business. And that's quite a feat. We are Carrillo Group CNY, where we do real estate with purpose.